In the lead up to the Queensland state election, I'd like to discuss the Adani Carmichael Coal Mine, why it's an important issue, and what it represents to the future of Australians. I can't remember exactly when I first heard about this mine. At university, I sometimes heard my lecturers make disgusted allusions to the mega coal mine and its likely impact on the Great Barrier Reef. As a marine biology student with serious concerns about the future of the reef and climate change, I decided to learn more. What I learned about this mine shocked and horrified me. So what is the Adani Carmichael Coal Mine? The proposed mega coal mine will be bigger than any coal mine ever built, impacting an area more than 5 times that of Sydney Harbour, with plans to operate for at least 60 years. The Adani company plans to mine 60 million tonnes per annum, and it is estimated that they will use 9.5 billion litres of groundwater per year. Because the location for the mine is remote, there are plans to build a huge railway to transport the coal to Abbott Point Coal Terminal, which would become one of the largest coal ports in the world, leading to around 500 more coal ships ploughing through the Great Barrier Reef each year, greatly increasing the risks of groundings and oil spills. Most significantly, the mine is projected to release a minimum of 4.7 billion tonnes of carbon dioxide, with some estimates placing this figure at 7.7 billion tonnes. This represents more than 1.3 times Australia's current annual pollution levels from all sources. This coal will get the world 1/3 of the way towards 2 degrees of global warming. The government has also granted Adani a free, unlimited water licence for 60 years, greatly angering Australian farmers who rely on groundwater. The Adani company is basically broke, but the Australian government has offered $1 billion in public money to build their rail line and support their operations. This is called the NAIF loan. The government has additionally offered $300 million in a royalties holiday. All this government support comes while 17 major banks worldwide have refused funding for the project, based on both its lack of economic viability and its environmental impact. So what else do we know about Adani? We know Adani and the Australian government have grossly exaggerated job numbers to be created by the mega mine. Originally stated to be 10,000, Adani's own experts revealed in court that the actual figure is only a minuscule 1,464 jobs. The company has plans for almost full automation in the mine. Adani also has a network of trusts and subsidiaries in the Cayman Islands tax havens. They have been accused of corruption, with a dangerous record of environmental protection breaches, destruction and human rights abuses in India. In March, Adani was found to have caused serious pollution by releasing polluted coal water in the wetlands and by unauthorized releases of water into the ocean near Abbott Point. These were 8 times the pollution limits. The company was fined only a tiny sum of $12,000, but the company fought the fines, demonstrating their reckless disregard of environmental destruction. Adani is currently involved in a battle involving Aboriginal land rights. The Wangan and Jagalingou owners say that the mine will cause irreparable environmental and cultural damage on their lands. Now, what does all this mean in the context of climate change? This year alone, the world has faced unprecedented floods, hurricanes, wildfires, and droughts on virtually every continent. The Climate Council released a report saying that developing the Adani mine fundamentally undermines any national or state action to tackle climate change. They also said if the Galilee Basin were a country on its own, it would emit more than 1.3 times Australia's annual emissions and rank in the top 15 emitting countries in the world. Most importantly, the Climate Council found that for Australia to play its role in tackling climate change, over 90% of Australia's existing coal reserves must be left in the ground unburned, and no new thermal mines can be created. Burning even the fossil fuels in already existing reserves would push global temperatures higher than 2 degrees. Representatives from India and also the Pacific Islands have called on Australia to stop the Adani mine. The project has made international headlines, with the New York Times recently covering the outcry against Adani. As we know, the Great Barrier Reef has been through devastating bleaching events in the last 2 years, with a 3rd event predicted. The massive coral bleaching impacts are shocking, a horrifying threat to the survival of the largest, most beautiful, biodiverse, and environmentally significant coral reef in the world. Our government is compounding this catastrophe by undermining renewable energy, ignoring climate science, and pursuing plans to build the world's largest coal mine to unleash even more devastating carbon dioxide into our atmosphere. This project is also putting 69,000 reef tourism jobs at risk. In terms of health, fine particle air pollution caused 4.2 million deaths globally in 2015. Burning of coal is a major source of fine particle air pollution. In India, which is where there are plans to send the Adani mine's coal, an estimated 80,000 to 115,000 people die from coal pollution each year. According to the Climate Council, coal's health impacts also cost Australian taxpayers an estimated $2.6 billion every year. So in short, the Adani mine is putting human health, lives and futures at risk. Recently, a coordinated national protest spelled out our anger about the Adani mine, with human signs created across the country. I was proud to participate in the Brisbane sign, which featured more than 1,000 people committed to stopping Adani. A recent poll found that 74.4% of Australians oppose the government's $1 billion NAIF loan to build the rail mine for Adani. Queensland Premier Anastasia Palaszczuk has shown a great deal of support for the Adani mine until last week, when she announced that Labour will veto the NAIF $1 billion loan, though she continues to support the mine development in an attempt to keep one foot in both camps. As the Adani mine has become a major issue within the public, this is believed to be an effort to differentiate Labour from the LNP in the upcoming state election. All eyes have now turned to LNP leader Tim Nicholls to also veto the loan, but he maintains support for it. So what can we do about it? If you care about all of these issues like I do, then now is the time to get involved. This will be a major issue at the upcoming state election, as shown by Anastasia's announcement to veto the loan. While the LNP and Labour remain supportive of the Adani mega coal mine, the Greens are currently the only party fully opposed to it. What you can do to stop the mine is to vote for the Greens first and the LNP last. This will send a strong message to the two major parties that we need action on climate change and we need to stop this dangerous project from going ahead. You can also get involved with the numerous organisations protesting Adani. These include the Stop Adani campaign, the AYCC, SEED, the Australian Marine Conservation Society, Guarding the Galilee, Climate Guardians, 350 Australia, Fight for Our Reef and many more. There are many events and actions planned in the lead up and after the state election. So what we have to do is we must stop the Adani mine. It's environmentally disastrous, it's economically irresponsible, and the effects will be irreversible.